guys, I'm here and welcome back, guys. Here's your boy Sean.
And your girl Mel.
Yes.
Welcome, guys. All right, today we'll be reacting to Europe Ruined America for Me.
Ooh, what do we mean by that?
I don't know. Let's get into it.
All right, so guys, before we get into it, go ahead and smash that like button and turn on that notification bell so you guys will be notified. And thank you guys for dropping this off inside the comment section. Here we go.
I didn't care much for pineapple when I was a kid. I thought it was bland in the grand scheme of fruits. But then I had a pineapple in Costa Rica where they actually grow it, and my lord, nothing is better. Now the canned stuff you see lopped onto a hotel breakfast buffet practically makes me gag. And that, sports fans, is what living in Europe for 10 years did to America for me.
Okay.
Let me explain. If you're new here, hey, thanks for being here. Swell of ya. My name is Joe Bauer, an American immigrant who's been living in Europe for the past decade and wandering around the world even longer, trying to close the gap between the story we're told and what's actually out there. In this video, I'm going to share how living in Europe has ruined the United States for me. Growing up in the US, particularly the so-called heartland of America, the constant thumping of best country ever, either verbally or subconsciously by our politicians and media, leave you assuming that the sentiment must be true. It's ingrained in you before you can even conceive of life beyond US borders. So that's what I assumed. The US must be the best country because, you know, it just is. The tides go in and out, the earth rotates around the sun, and the Cleveland Browns will find new and unique ways to lose games. It's just another law of the universe. Now, to be fair, you don't know what you don't know. We're not generally taught that many people who live outside of the United States are happy with where they live. The general narrative we get is that everyone wants to come to the US. We saw that presumptuous bravado play out with the latest Greenland nonsense when Ted Cruz claimed Greenlanders would say, "Hell yeah," to becoming American citizens. Except they don't want to become American citizens, which is something I'll dive deeper into my next video covering my recent week traveling around Greenland. So, stay tuned. It wasn't until I started traveling the world, ironically thanks to the privilege of an American passport, that I started to realize both that best country is highly subjective and that other countries inarguably do certain things better. In some cases, much better. I remember traveling to Switzerland for the first time about 12 years ago, crisscrossing the country by bike and train, something you simply cannot do in the US. Or, for the person inevitably getting ready to yell in the comments, Switzerland is the size of a small US state! You can't do it in a small US state either. There's a bit from How I Met Your Mother, one of the few that haven't aged horribly, where glass shatters every time someone realizes something for the first time.
You're always correcting people.
That's absolutely right.
That trip to Switzerland was the first of many glass-shattering moments from Europe that's ruined America for me. Moving here and traveling even more has only made it worse. Now, when I lived in Dusseldorf, I could easily and safely cycle to the Netherlands, take regional trains to villages in the countryside, ride a high-speed train to France or Belgium, a night train to Vienna, or transfer in Munich to slip south to Austria or Italy. Even from Berlin, I can easily get to Denmark, Czechia, Hungary, or within about an hour on the train, Poland. This isn't just great for travel, it's great for flexibility when working remotely. Just last week, I took the train from Copenhagen to Berlin after my week in Greenland because my flight was canceled. In the US, I'd be absolutely screwed. I'd have to rent a car and basically lose a workday driving. But here, I could just hop on the train. It was about an 8.5-hour journey. Basically a workday on the train, which, as a side note, I'm wildly productive on a train. I think I wrapped up like 3 articles I had due for editors, and it really would have screwed up my week if I lost that time. Not to mention, spending that amount of time in a car would push me to the brink of insanity. After having that kind of ease of connectivity for the past decade, I simply can't look at the US the same way again. Because all I see when I look at a map are the ghosts of train lines that used to exist and think of the decades of missed opportunities to make things better. Case in point, we're planning a big trip around the western United States to check out some national parks, most likely connecting Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Boise, and Portland. They're the largest cities in their respective states, each about 4 to 6 hours of driving apart. My European eyes can't help but expect there to be trains connecting these places. Here, I can take a high-speed train from Berlin to Munich, the same distance as Salt Lake City to Boise, in about 4 hours, with Wi-Fi while working. What transit options that do exist in the western region of the US are multiple buses at just about double the driving time. Hardly the stuff of the best country on earth. The US is, financially speaking, a wealthy country. Now, rather than using $200 billion to fund an illegal war, it could give a tiny fraction of that amount to improving the lives of everyday Americans by, I don't know, as just one example, improving transportation alternatives. But what it can't do is something that's inherent to the very fabric of Europe, and that is hold together a mosaic of different languages, cultures, and histories. One of my absolute favorite things about living in and traveling around Europe is the linguistic and cultural diversity of the continent. When I'm doing those cycling trips from Dusseldorf or the international train trips out of Berlin, I'm diving into a place with a completely different language, culture, and history. That was another glass-shattering moment for me, just how much I value this kind of accessible diversity. Now, don't get me wrong, the US is home to loads of unique and interesting cultures. The Midwest is different than the Northeast, which is different than the Southeast, and so on. But the degree of those differences is a fraction of what you experience living in Europe. Going from my hometown of Cleveland to, let's say, next door Pennsylvania just isn't as thrilling as going to Poland from Berlin. And it simply never will be.
Oh, wow.
No offense to Pennsylvania. I love Pittsburgh, the Allegheny River, the Allegheny Mountains. It's all beautiful stuff, so please don't attack me with one of those massive Primanti Brothers sandwiches. My love and now expectation for that kind of diversity is 100% Europe's fault, and there's nothing the US can do about that. Unless, and I'm just spitballing here, someone invents a time machine, goes back in time, stops Native American genocide. Though civilizations continue to grow, they allow a reasonable amount of European immigration, but, with limits, of course, because you can't just have them pouring across Cherokee, Navajo, or Choctaw borders taking their jobs, and then you're left with the same kind of cultural mosaic that we have today in Europe, and instead of, dances with wolves, we'd have, I don't know, dances with clogs or something. If only. In the US, unemployment is viewed shamefully. It's one of the sins spelled out on Mel Brooks' third tablet that his Moses dropped. There's little empathy for folks who, for one reason or another, can't find work. Boomers especially are fond of shaking their head, muttering, "Why don't you just get a job?" As if they're just being handed out by the job fairy.
Yeah, get a job. Oh, get a job? Yeah. Just get a job? Why don't I strap on my job helmet and squeeze down into a job cannon and fire off into Jobland, where jobs grow on jobbies?
In Germany, and I imagine most of the European Union, unemployment is viewed differently. We have higher taxes, yes, but that helps fund the social safety net that gives recently unemployed folks financial breathing room if they lose their job. Or it's not entirely uncommon for someone to voluntarily leave their job just to make some time for themselves, maybe travel, or do something else that doesn't revolve around work, all the while collecting some form of unemployment. The American mind couldn't imagine such a thing. I couldn't have imagined it myself until I lived here. But in Germany, unemployment is viewed as a kind of insurance policy that you recoup whenever you need it. It's your money you're taking back. But in the US, a social safety net is the kind of thing for commies and their commie polyamorous thruples. In a country where many people are living paycheck to paycheck, leaving your job for any number of reasons is seen as too risky. So you might find yourself trapped as opposed to feeling free to explore other opportunities or maybe even starting your own business. Glass officially shattered. None of this is to say that Europe is better than the United States. That kind of thinking is entirely subjective, whether you truly believe the United States is the greatest country on earth, or you wouldn't step foot there if someone paid you. But these glass-shattering moments that living in and traveling around Europe has given me has changed how I see the United States as it relates to the rest of the world. It gave me perspective. It showed me that the American way isn't the best way, it's just one way. It also sucks, to be honest, because as an American, you feel like someone lied to you when the glass shatters, and you realize that other places are doing certain things better, or at least more effectively. But because so many of our leaders believe that America is the best country on earth, they refuse to learn from other places. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind a little confident bravado every now and then. It works for some of the best athletes out there. But you gotta back that shit up. Imagine if after Muhammad Ali said he was the greatest, he went out there and got pummeled by a 5th grader with weak bones. Perhaps most frustrating of all, US leadership by and large would seem more likely to just give me a Men in Black brain wipe rather than try and make itself better.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here.
The US is the greatest country on earth. Kid Rock is a national icon. Tex-Mex is better than Mexican. So yes, Europe ruined America for me. Living and traveling around here show me that the US isn't the best in many respects, certainly in ways I care about. I can't unsee that, and I certainly can't imagine life without it. But Europe isn't the only region dropping life lessons on my lap. In this video, I share 8 places from around the world that completely changed my American worldview. The last place is technically 2, so hopefully that's an intriguing enough tease that you'll make the algorithm happy and make with the clicky click.
All right.
Okay, so basically the way I feel about it is,
I didn't care much for pineapple.
oh, okay. The way I feel about it is, that's just his opinion, because America will always be home to us.
Yeah.
So if we go to any other country, we're going to feel homesick right away, and we might not.
I mean,
You
we've
know,
done it before.
right.
We've traveled outside of the United States before, and
Yes.
like after a few days, we
Couldn't
want to
wait
go
get
home.
You know?
But I think there are other amazing countries.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I don't like to put down anyone's country, but I get what he's saying. No country is
mean,
perfect though.
Every country is different. Like you pointed out, like the train transit system, it might be better.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're all used to, the trains here or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, pretty much. But I
I
get
love
what
America.
he's saying.
Yeah.
It's more accessible.
Yeah. But some people probably don't like to ride trains. What about that?
But not only the
know?
trains, but he's speaking of like different scenarios where he feels like it's better in Europe.
It's better for
and
him.
maybe like he said, the fruit.
The fruit.
You
is one
know,
of them, he said.
fresh fruit.
Low taxes. You don't
yeah.
have high taxes like America. I get it.
Unemployment.
Right.
More freedom.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
But that's his lifestyle. Everyone has a different lifestyle.
Everybody got a different
So
lifestyle.
maybe Europe fits his lifestyle better.
There you go. Yep.
So.
And America fits us better. I love America. I don't want to say nothing bad about our country. This is home to us.
It most definitely
So
is.
I appreciate America.
And like he said, it's because of that American passport that he was
That's the reason he
able
was able to get over there.
get over there and travel.
So.
So like, but he did. He didn't put America down.
No.
He just said the things that he thought were better over in Europe,
Hey,
and respect. I respect
that.
it.
I respect that as well, babe.
Absolutely.
There it is. But this is a great video, just to get out his point of view.
Yeah.
To have people, just wanting to visit Europe,
And he's well traveled.
Yeah,
I'm
it's all
not
good.
well traveled. We've been out of the country 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times tops.
And it was for vacation. Like, he's traveling around the world.
Yes,
so he knows
understand.
more,
Yeah. Yep.
So, whatever works for him. But
Hey, you gotta respect it. All right.
I love to be, when we go out, we leave the country, we're like, we're ready to go back to America.
I mean, just
Wanna
for a
come
couple
home.
days, but then after that, we definitely ready to come back home. I love
Yeah.
the food, the culture, the states, everything about America.
Yes.
It's a great
But
country.
America is starting to change.
It
There
is.
is like a sadness.
It's something going on with
It's
America.
like America is grieving right now.
Yep.
And it's like everywhere. Like, you feel it when you go out. You
Yeah.
feel it when you're in the comment section. You feel it when you're watching the news. Like, you feel it everywhere. It's like a
It's
sadness
like America's
hovering over all of
always
us.
roaming somewhere, and it's like a lot of people is always making videos about America, shining this light on America. And at the end of the day, if you trust in God, you'll be okay.
Absolutely.
There it is.
Amen.
I don't care what country you live in, just do the right thing.
Amen.
All right. So guys, that's our time. We gotta get up out of here. But go ahead and smash that like button and get this video a big fat thumbs up, and also get inside the comment section. Appreciate the love and support.
Yes.
Don't forget to hype this video up.
Yeah.
And we signing off. Peace, love, and blessings.
All right, guys. Peace.